While the British Expeditionary Force may have been able to evacuate the mainland, France was less lucky. Hitler and his men swiftly moved into France and eventually were marching through Paris. After that, the French turned to Germany for an armistice. Now, Britain stood alone against the Germans. They even had to fire upon their former French allies' battlecruisers in order to keep them from getting into German hands. They destroyed and severely damaged 3 ships. Almost 1,300 French sailors were killed in these attacks. Hitler offered Churchill peace terms, but the British chose instead to fight on. They dug into their little island and set up defenses. But the Brits were not completely docile during this time. They sent raids into Norway in an attempt to destroy vital Nazi supplies, factories, and ships. These raids were widely successful as they were often run by commando units who were highly trained. Hitler became worried of a full invasion, so he stationed 250,000 German troops there for the remainder of the war. Hey guys, what is going on? It is Daily Tactics here, and I am back with episode 6 of Hitler's World War. So as you could probably tell from the intro, we are going to be doing some raids on this German airfield where some Luftwaffe planes are being repaired. The British obviously don't want that to happen, so they are sending in a ton of British commandos who they tried to be sneaky and take these little crafts onto the shore, but the Germans got wind of this, and so they stationed some troops there to try and fend them off. So it's going to be tough for the British, but they have brought a ton of men, which is going to be very good. And basically their goal is going to be to destroy these German planes. Yeah, pretty easy goal. Let's see if they can actually do it, though. I'm going to be controlling the British for the most part, trying to help them out a little bit. And so yeah, let's go ahead and get it started here. I think we'll just start with an all-out charge because I think the most defended area is this beginning part, especially in this little village square thing where the Germans are heavily fortified. So we'll see if our British commandos can do anything, but they are running up the beach here and attempting to make it up there. It looks like we already have a bunch of losses over here, but we can hear the rattling of submachine guns and machine guns and some rifle fire in there, trying to defeat some of these Germans. A couple of them are going down, but a lot of them are sustaining good fire on the British. That is going to be important for the Germans. If they can sustain their fire, they should be able to wipe these guys out, but at the moment, it looks like the British are gaining some ground, which is very good for them. So yeah, the British did a lot of these raids into Norway. You know, it was a very important place for Hitler and his war machine because Scandinavia has a lot of natural resources that they need, as well as manufacturing and things like that. So the British did a lot of attempts like this to slow it down and destroy some of these facilities and things like that, while they weren't directly engaging with the Germans, sort of in that awkward in-between where France had already capitulated, but the Russians and Americans hadn't joined the war yet. So a lot of this kind of a thing happened, where there was raiding, and Hitler became so paranoid that there was going to be a complete ground invasion of Norway that he stationed 250,000 troops there. That is a lot of troops, especially when later he kept them there for basically the entire war. And that's insane considering there were theaters of war like Russia in the late war where German troops were getting massacred and they needed every force they could get, but Hitler kept these guys here. And there was like Operation Market Garden and things like that, so I guess they were essential, but people argue it was part of his downfall, leaving such a huge plethora of troops defending this area that really didn't get attacked that often. So that is an interesting little tidbit from World War II history. But it does look like our British troops are starting to invade. I don't really have to do any micromanaging quite yet. They're doing okay. They are taking a lot of losses, but they do have a lot of troops. Looks like the Germans are at the bottom of this hill, and they're shooting up, which you would think isn't actually great, but they got a lot of kills being able to do that because the British would crest the top of the hill and then immediately get shot up. But it does look like the British have made it past that little checkpoint here and are now moving on to the next set of German defenses, which are also pretty well well defended, so the British are going to be looking at a lot of losses here probably. But it does look like many of the German soldiers are suppressed, which isn't going to be great for them. We'll see how it goes, but it's not looking good currently. We got one lone German soldier over here with his looks like he's got a submachine gun, but he's just chilling. He's having a good time. Probably not, but whatever. Got some more German troops here in these bushes. Further back, we have an entire roadblock of German troops. These guys will probably do a pretty good defense. These guys at this farmstead also are in a good position to sort of, not ambush, but get a nice little attack on these British who are cresting this hill. And they're also, looks like they're able to fire at some of the guys who are at the bottom of the hill too. That might be their downfall, as they're starting to take some losses to those guys. They don't have a perfect head glitch here, which is a shame. What's this guy doing? He's dead. That's a shame. But these guys over here are doing pretty well. I'm excited for Battlefield 5, finally. Jack Fragg's got me excited. Yeah, he's just super optimistic all the time, and he was explaining some of the features of the new Battlefield 5 World War II game, and he managed to get me a little bit more optimistic than I was previously. I did gripe about it a little bit in a previous video, and I think my worries were justified. It seemed too cartoony. It seemed like a Fortnite game instead of a World War II game. But I mean, hearing some of the Battlefield 5 features that are going to be included in this game, and Jack Frags does go over them really well in depth, and I recommend you check it out, that video. He's done a couple of videos of it. It's gotten me re-excited for it. It looks like they're taking a different take on World War II, a little bit more of a wackier take with all this customization, which I don't like that part really at all. But he's also doing, or they are also doing, a bit more of like different theaters of war that you might not normally visit in your typical World War II game, and I do like that part quite a bit. British seem to be retreating back now. They've forgotten their mission, so we're going to help them out. They did take a ton of losses attacking right there. Whoops, I didn't mean to do that. But we'll send a few squads to the airbase, and the rest will follow once the fighting starts. So these guys are moving forward now. Oh, and it looks like, yep, the fighting has started again, and the Germans are opening fire. And now we're down to the actual airbase itself, the very last line of defense for the Germans. And they've still got quite a number of troops over here. Alright. Of course, the 250,000 troops were spread out over most of Scandinavia, so really German response time would be quite slow to these raids. And so they weren't really able to get a ton of troops into each place, but they did at least have some. See how these dudes are doing over here. They're getting suppressed pretty badly. Looks like these two guys are taking on the grunt of the force. Oh, and this guy back here. Oh, and two more over here. Okay, never mind. It's not too bad. So yeah, Battlefield 5, I'm getting a little bit more hyped for it. I'm also excited because I'm hoping it's going to renew some hype for other World War II games, like Day of Infamy, maybe some Day of Defeat Source, stuff that I feel like the public has kind of forgotten, and chosen to go for, you know, Battle Royale games and stuff like that instead. So I'm hoping like these Hitler World War videos get a little bit more attention too, due to this sudden World War II hype that's coming out. I think that'd be really, really cool, especially because this is kind of an overlooked series on my channel. You know, lots of people don't know about this one, while they stay tuned for Rico's Brigade, but they don't know about this one, which I think is an equally good series as Rico's Brigade is. So I do hope that this does spark some more interest in this series as well. I think that would be really neat. This machine gunner is alone now. His two comrades have gone down, and he is bravely holding this sandbag against a lot of British, and he has killed a lot of British as well. A lot of these guys are dead. He might have just gotten sniped. Yeah, he did. But he managed to take out quite a number of British, and it looks like the commandos are now starting to enter into this this airport, if you will, and they're taking some fire. And I think they're taking fire from Germans across the way. Yep, here's some Germans here, there's some scattered about here, some back here. So really they're just taking fire in numerous places. I'm looking for more. I don't see more. Let's see. Oh, they're scattered about. Oh, there's actually one German still alive right here. Never mind. Goodbye. Check it out. There's two over here. Two right here. They're all over the place. Does look like the British are going to be successful, but they're probably going to take a few more losses at least before they finish up with this this area. Yeah, they're creeping in here. Alright. Yeah, I'm really excited to start the eastern front of Hitler's World War. Get to see some Russian action soon enough. I think that'll be really, really cool. I was also thinking about starting to do maybe some A Trump's Wall video, see how that goes. That was sort of a staple of daily gaming, the channel. So maybe try out one of those videos, see how it goes, see if people like it. Maybe do some more Modern Warfare stuff. Oof! That guy turned the corner and immediately got just shat on. Looks like we got one last brave German grenadier back here, firing his Gewehr. Or maybe it's a Kar 98K, I can't really tell. That's a Kar 98K. But he is trying to fire away, but to no luck. So yeah, the British have succeeded in their mission, but I mean, look, they have maybe half the force they started with. We'll go over that right after we destroy some of these bad boys. Toss that there. I want to destroy some of these ships. Actually, why don't we just get in one of them and fly into some... Or, not fly into, but we'll shoot the gun at these parked planes, and we'll give one of these Brits some fun. Alright, let's see. My piloting's never been too good. Oh, it's tough. It's tough. Oh, boy. Don't fly too far away. Come back! Is he coming around? There he is. Alright. Dive down a little bit. Oh, it's so hard to pilot in this game. Can you not go any slower? Ah. Is there bombs on this thing at all? No. Alright, wait. Listen, lad. Why can't you go any slower? You're going too fast to do a bombing run. Or not a bombing run, but just like fire at these. There we go, there's two of them down. Alright, come on. Okay. We're activating landing gear a little bit. Just to try... No! Okay. I was doing that just to try and... Oh, I have an idea. Just to try and lower the plane a little bit to make it easier, but that didn't really work out. Let's see, we destroyed 3 or 4 of actually those planes in that time. That wasn't bad. Not bad at all. But we're going to get in this one. We need to do it quick. The Germans will return. And they're not going to be too happy. So we won't even take this one off. It's a better idea, a lot better of an idea. And we'll just shred these with some cannon fire. I don't know what caliber gun this is. Probably 50 cal or something like that. I don't know. I'm not a gun nut. And this one lost a chip of its wing, so it's out of commission, but we'll hop out of it, and then let's see, we just have this one actually left. So we'll just toss a grenade at it. Easy. Okay. So, oh, this one's still alive. No, wait. Its back wing is destroyed. Did this one die? It might have survived that. I think it's actually still operational. Holy cow. I would have thought a grenade would immediately just cut this one up. Alright, well, we'll... Oh, no, it actually... No, it's still operational. Yep, that's about right. The poor lad who was in there. Okay, let's go over some of the losses here. So right off the bat on the beach, yellow are the Brits, and they took so many losses on the beachhead here. Just like probably 30 or 40 men. And then up in this town, they took a little less in terms of losses, but they were still hurting a bit. In this field, they did pretty well, actually. Only took 6 or 7. But then in this town, they got beaten to an absolute pulp. Look at all these deaths. Holy cow. And then they got to the actual airfield where they minimized losses a little bit. They managed to get away with just a little more, but overall, probably not a great raid choice. I mean, they lost a lot of men, but, I mean, to minimize the German war machine by like 15 fighters, that's pretty good, especially because the British were outnumbered in the air by a lot. So that's probably a good thing. Overall, I don't know if this is successful or not. Let me know in the comments if you think it was, if you think it was worthwhile for the Brits to do this. But yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. I really hope you enjoyed. Comment, rate, and subscribe if you did, and I'll see you all in the next video. Peace.